When I'm hunting walleyes down with my Active Target 2, there's 4 or 5 real go-to presentations that I almost always have rigged up. You know, one would be like a jig crawler. You could put a leech on there. A lot of times I'll pitch that out and float that in front of their face. You can either swim it or let it just drop down. If I'm fishing weed lines or shallow water, I like to use like a 1/8 or a 1/16 ounce jig, either with a crawler or a leech, and just kind of float that in front of their face. Another one would be a bobber rod. I've always got bobber rods tied up. Bobbers are great. They catch fish all season long. Again, tipping that with either a leech or a crawler. My presentation's pretty simple. I've got a slip bobber, a small little egg sinker, a swivel, a split shot, and then a 1/16 ounce jig. I can swap this 1/16 ounce jig out sometimes for just a plain hook with a leech if the fish get really finicky. But it's nice to have a cork on hand, especially when the fish are moving, or if you want to get good at your distances. I've always got that rigged up. And then a jig in a plastic, whether it's like a swimming minnow like this, whether you're swimming that freeloader, or even a paddle tail. I use a lot of paddle tails on these fish. But with this presentation, I can dump it in their face and I can rip and get a reactionary strike if they're not hitting the live bait. And then of course, a jig wrap. I've always got a jig wrap tied up. You can really see the jig wraps on forward-facing sonar. They drop quickly. They're heavy, so you can see that they get down to the fish. So, you know, a lot of times if it's really windy, you want to get that presentation down there as quick as possible. A jig wrap is hard to beat all season long.